I don't give a what I said. I don't get out of bed for 2:30. Don't come through this so early next time. Understood?
Somebody's got to do it.
I lost the role because the network, which I won't name, said that they thought I was too dark and would scare everybody. I got fired from a show because I wouldn't play the coon.
At 68, the actor has finally spoken out and confirmed the awful rumors. Why did he wait so long to share the truth? What exactly did he reveal about the rumors surrounding his life?
A guy came to my page the other day. He said, I don't watch shit Clifton Powell does. All he does is play rapists and killers, which is not true. But this guy never met me, doesn't know me.
In this video, we'll take a closer look at Clifton Powell's response and what this means for his career and reputation. Are these rumors as bad as they sound?
I grew up in Washington, D.C. Southeast D.C, as a matter of fact. Tough area in D.C.
Clifton's life story is far more complex than what we see on screen. Let's take a look at Clifton's journey from a tough upbringing to becoming a well-known actor. Born on March 16, 1956 in Washington, D.C., Clifton grew up in a tough area known as Southeast D.C. Life wasn't easy for him, and he faced many challenges early on. His mother passed away when he was just 4 years old, and his father, who struggled with alcoholism, wasn't always around to care for him. By the time Clifton was 7, he was basically taking care of himself. He didn't have a babysitter, and he learned to fend for himself in a neighborhood that wasn't always safe.
My mother died pretty tragically when I was 4, and my dad was what I would call a dysfunctional alcoholic. Was raising myself at 7. My babysitter had...
Clifton's story could have easily gone in a very different direction, but he was lucky to have a few key people in his life who helped him along the way. One of those people was Daryl Harvey, the son of a woman named Imogene Johnson, whom Clifton's dad met. Daryl took Clifton under his wing when he was just 8 years old. Daryl was about 17 at the time and became a role model for Clifton, especially when his dad wasn't around. This kind of support was a lifeline for Clifton, helping him stay focused and out of trouble.
Daryl Harvey, who basically took me under his wing, he was probably 17 and I was 8, and he just took care of me, you know?
As Clifton grew up, he also found support from his sister, who helped him get out of the rough neighborhood and spend weekends in a better environment. These moments spent away from the streets gave him a glimpse into a different way of life, one that was more stable and nurturing. All of this helped shape the man he would later become. Let's be real. Growing up in a tough neighborhood can shape you in ways you don't even realize. Clifton Powell knows all about that. He grew up in Washington, D.C., and by his own words, the area was rough. People from D.C. know the area I came from was pretty tough, he said, but Clifton credits church and his family for keeping him on the right path. I was in church every Sunday. That's why I'm here today. If I hadn't gotten out of the hood, I'd probably be locked up somewhere.
If I hadn't got out of the hood, I probably wouldn't be sitting right here. I'd probably be locked up somewhere for real. You know?
Clifton learned early on how to grab attention and tell a story. Growing up in the hood, he understood that life can feel small if you're not exposed to bigger things. If you don't grow up in that environment, your world is maybe as big as this room, he explained. But Clifton's life changed when he attended St. Anthony's High School. At St. Anthony's, Clifton discovered acting, almost by accident. The school was putting on a play called Lil Abner, and his teacher, Mr. R, encouraged him to join. I told Mr. R, I think I want to do the play. Back then, a lot of guys didn't go into the arts, but he gave me a shot. Little did Clifton know that this small step would lead him to a big career in Hollywood.
It can be tough. You know, I grew up with a lot of guys that ended up in jail or doing drugs or selling drugs or robbing banks and stuff like that. So luckily, because my sister was always there.
Clifton didn't dream of being an actor. I wanted to be a football player, he said. I never had a plan for acting. But once he got started, he was unstoppable. He began with small roles in TV shows and movies in the 1980s. Then, in 1993, everything changed. That year, Clifton landed a role in Menace II Society, a gritty, hard-hitting film. His performance as Chauncey was unforgettable. It put him on the map, and Hollywood started paying attention.
I don't give a what I said. I don't get out of bed for 2:30. Don't come through this so early next time.
But life in the spotlight isn't always as glamorous as it seems. Clifton faced many temptations and challenges along the way. There's a lot of pressure when you become famous. people want your money, your time, and your attention. Some people want to be your friend, but they're really just after something from you. This kind of lifestyle can easily lead someone down the wrong path. Clifton admits that he got lost in it for a while. For a while, people talked more about Clifton's temper than his talent. In fact, things got so bad for Clifton that he lost $5 million in a divorce and even ended up homeless for a time. It was one of the lowest points in his life, but through it all, he kept going, learning from his mistakes and getting back on his feet. He's had his share of public drama too. There was a time when he got into a fist fight with a director on a movie set, which became a big story. It was one of those moments that made people talk, just like when people accused him of things he didn't do. Clifton, being a father to a 22-year-old daughter, says he would never hurt anyone, and he feels strongly about defending his name.
I came to my page the other day. He said, I don't watch shit Clifton Powell does. All he does is play and kills, which is not true. But this guy never met me, doesn't know me. Obviously hasn't done his research.
Not everyone knows that his career took a hit because of some serious allegations made against him. In 2013, things got even worse. A woman accused Clifton of claiming he attacked her in a hotel room. Clifton denied it, saying, "I would never hurt anyone." The case was settled out of court, but the damage to his reputation was done. "It was the hardest time of my life," he admitted. "I lost work. My reputation was ruined." In February 2017, Clifton Powell talked about how accusations of rape affected his life and career. Let's take a closer look at what happened, how it changed his career, and how he's handling it now.
Everybody wants to be out front. I don't have those kind of aspirations. I just doing good work.
The rape allegations made against Powell were serious. He explained in an interview that they cost him many job opportunities. In the entertainment world, when someone is accused of something like this, it can be very damaging. Even if the claims are false, many people might stop hiring that person because of the bad press. That's what happened to Clifton Powell. He said that the accusations made it hard for him to get gigs, which is another word for getting work in movies or TV shows.
Somebody's got to do it.
One of the biggest problems Powell faced was that the public quickly judged him based on the allegations, that people were quick to make up their minds without knowing the whole story. This can hurt someone's career, even if they are innocent. He admitted that the situation made him feel bad, and it took a toll on his personal and professional life. Powell was not the only one affected by the allegations. His family and friends also felt the pain. He mentioned how his loved ones were there for him, but it was still a difficult time. Clifton also talked about the pressure he felt as a black actor in Hollywood. He pointed out that sometimes being a black actor can make it even harder to recover from things like false accusations. Hollywood is known for being tough, and if you're a person of color, it can be even more challenging to bounce back after facing any type of scandal. Powell shared that, at one point, it felt like his career was slipping away, and he wasn't sure if he could come back from it. But Powell didn't let the situation completely break him. He worked hard to stay positive and to keep his career moving forward. He mentioned that he learned to rely on his faith and his support system. For him, the most important thing was to keep going and not let the past define him. Over time, people started to remember the talent he brought to the screen rather than just focusing on the rumors. He realized that sometimes things happen in life that are beyond your control. You can't always change how people see you or what they think about you, but you can control how you respond to challenges. Powell also learned to be more careful about the people he surrounds himself with. He said that in Hollywood, it's important to trust the right people because the wrong people might try to hurt you or use your name for their own benefit. Powell advised other actors and entertainers to be aware of their surroundings and to be careful with who they trust, as sometimes people may try to bring others down to make themselves look better.
I think when you get a chance to play a character like Martin Luther King, that's like iconic, you know? And I wasn't the first choice for that role, so I was able to kind of really be prepared and go in and win that role. And I think
Clifton also recently opened up about facing colorism in Hollywood. Colorism is when people are treated differently based on the shade of their skin. In Powell's case, he says that because of his darker complexion, he was turned down for roles. In an interview with the Jasmine brand, Powell shared that he had been rejected for parts in movies many times. He explained, "If you knew how many movies I had, people come to me and they say, 'You should be bigger than you are.'" He went on to say, If I tell you how many times they said I was too black for the role, you wouldn't believe it. Powell, who is 64, revealed that one time, a network rejected him for a big role. They told the producer that Powell was so dark he's gonna scare everybody. This is just one example of the challenges Powell has faced because of colorism. In Hollywood, lighter-skinned actors are often given more opportunities, while darker-skinned actors are overlooked or told they are too dark for certain roles. Powell has experienced this firsthand, even though he has worked hard in his career for more than 30 years.
I lost the role because the network, which I won't name, said that they thought I was too dark and would scare everybody.
Despite these difficulties, Powell has not let the rejection stop him. He went on to receive a nomination for an NAACP Image Award for his role in Ray, a movie about the life of singer Ray Charles. He has also found success in both movies and television, showing that talent can still shine through, even in an industry with deep biases. In the interview, Powell also talked about how he wants to help younger actors avoid the same struggles he went through. He said, "I take the time with the young people to try and give them all of the stuff that I didn't know." He wants to teach them that it takes hard work and strong faith to make it in the acting world. Powell understands the difficulties of the industry and believes that sharing his knowledge with others can help them succeed. Even though the entertainment industry is getting better about diversity, there are still many challenges for actors with darker skin.
That statement that I made about Spike Lee had a little bit more understanding around it, and it wasn't me being hostile. I really was just playing around, and it just went viral.
From heated moments with Spike Lee to personal struggles and growth. At one point, Clifton had a public issue with Spike Lee. He shared how Spike, a famous director, didn't always treat people fairly. Clifton explained that back in the day, Spike would keep people waiting and sometimes didn't pay them what they deserved. While Clifton acknowledges Spike may have grown from those mistakes, what really upset him was Spike putting down another black man, Tyler Perry, in public. Clifton felt that wasn't right. Despite the drama, Spike later apologized and had a conversation with Tyler Perry to clear the air.
I don't respect anyone, including myself, even my son or my daughter, that goes to the crossover press and puts down a brother or a sister who's trying to come up in this business.
Through it all, Clifton kept pushing forward. He worked in Tyler Perry's movies, showing how versatile he is as an actor. Clifton switched effortlessly between comedy and drama, proving he could handle any role. His performance as Jeff Brown in Ray, where he acted alongside Jamie Foxx, earned him critical praise. That movie proved Clifton was more than just a fiery personality. He was a serious talent.
No, honestly, Jamie put me in Ray. Jamie, fought for me to be in Ray.
Clifton's personal life hasn't been as smooth. He was married to his wife, Kimberly, for over 20 years, which is rare in Hollywood. However, their marriage ended, and Clifton admitted he made mistakes. He spent too much time away from home, didn't save enough for his kids, and got caught up in the temptations of fame, women, fake friends, and bad decisions. When his marriage ended, Powell was at his lowest point. He lost everything in a tough divorce, including $5 million. Life had spiraled out of control. He gambled heavily, blowing $30,000 to $50,000 a year. He had women, a fast lifestyle, and no balance. Eventually, it all came crashing down. Clifton hit rock bottom and realized he wasn't there for his kids like he should have been. Sure, he worked hard to provide for his family, but he admits he could have done better. He says, "I could have been gone 50% of the time, but not 70%. Despite his struggles, Clifton gives credit to his ex-wife, Kimberly. She stepped up and was there for their kids full-time. Now Clifton cherishes his relationship with his children. His daughter, who he affectionately calls Pinky, is hilarious. He even says she's funnier than him. His son, Clifton Jr., is a writer and basketball player, and he's dating Sasha Obama. Clifton takes this seriously. He's always giving his son advice, telling him to treat Sasha the way he'd want someone to treat his own daughter. But not all his family relationships are smooth. He has another son he doesn't see much. Clifton admits it's not perfect, but says he's done his best to stay in his life. Today, Clifton is in a much better place. His net worth is back to $5 million. But he knows money isn't everything. His real success is his career and the impact he's made in the entertainment world. Clifton has been in some of the most important black films of the last 30 years. He's known for his ability to make you laugh in one scene and cry in the next. Looking ahead, Clifton isn't slowing down. There's talk about him starring in a new series as a retired detective and even writing a memoir about his wild Hollywood journey. Clifton Powell's story is one of highs and lows, but he's proof that you can bounce back no matter how far you fall.
A guy came to my page the other day. He said, I don't watch shit Clifton Powell does. All he does is play rapists and which is not true. This guy never met me, doesn't know me, obviously hasn't done his research.
Clifton also spoke about how people often judge him based on the characters he plays, not understanding the hard work and training that go into acting. In another recent interview, actor Clifton Powell opened up about his experiences as an entertainer, sharing some tough and life-threatening moments he's faced. He started by talking about how people often mistake him for the characters he plays. It's something that happens to many actors, especially when they play strong or tough roles. He says that sometimes fans or strangers get too aggressive, thinking he's the same person off screen. Powell explained that he's never been in trouble with the law or done drugs. He's a good father and tries to be a good person, but because of the roles he plays, people sometimes treat him like he's a different person. He even joked about how some people think he's a real because of the tough roles he plays in movies. But in reality, he hasn't been in a fight since he was a kid. He remembers a time when he was hanging out in a small bar in upstate New York when a group of men started picking a fight with him. At first, he didn't even understand why. One guy called him names and blocked the door, making things really tense. Powell, though, stood his ground and faced the situation head-on, not backing down. The men were about to turn violent, but when Powell explained that he gives back to the community by visiting prisons and talking to kids, they changed their tune. In the end, they even asked for his autograph. This experience really opened Powell's eyes to how dangerous life as a public figure can be. He talked about how people hate you for no reason, just because they think they know you from TV or movies. He's aware that as an actor, his life is under constant scrutiny. He also explained how some entertainers travel with security to avoid situations like the one he faced, because for every fan, there's often someone who dislikes you.
Everybody wants to be out front. I don't have those kind of aspirations. I just doing good work.
Powell also talked about how tough it can be to balance the pressures of fame and personal life. He's had family members ask him for money, only to forget about it later. In some cases, the same people who ask for help might not even recognize what he's been through. Powell mentioned how, for entertainers, it's not just about the fame or the money. It's about doing the work and staying grounded. He suggested that young actors focus on their craft, be good to people, and understand that fame can go up and down. It's a constant challenge, and sometimes, even when you think things are going well, they can take a turn. Clifton explained that his journey to success wasn't easy. He recalled a time when he was poor and having dinner with a woman who didn't believe he could make it as an actor. She even told him he would never succeed. But instead of listening to her, Clifton followed his passion, saying, "If this is what the angels and the gods have for you, go for it." He mentioned how people often think that actors, especially African-American actors, aren't as well trained as others. Clifton made it clear that he's just as skilled as actors like Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and Dustin Hoffman. He has spent years studying and working hard to perfect his craft. Clifton's training started early. In 1974, when he was at Emerson College, he worked hard on his speech and acting skills. While other students were partying, he was practicing his lines, even recording himself late at night to improve his voice. Over the years, Clifton played many different characters, from tough guys like Pinky in Next Friday to serious roles like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He takes pride in being able to play such a wide range of characters because he's trained for it. He also spoke about how people sometimes don't respect actors of color, thinking that their work isn't as good or real as others. Clifton shared how insulting this is, especially when someone once confused his role as a character who harmed a child with something he did in real life. It upset him because he works hard to portray his roles with respect and skill. For Clifton, acting is not just about fame, it's about doing the work and being recognized for your talent. He encourages young actors not to listen to the negativity, but to keep working toward their dreams. He's proof that dedication and training can lead to success, no matter where you start from. Clifton Powell's story is a reminder that being famous isn't always as glamorous as it seems. The pressure can be overwhelming, and there's always a risk of losing your freedom or being misunderstood. He hopes that more people will understand what it's really like for entertainers. It's not just about the red carpets or luxury cars. There are real struggles, and they affect actors and everyday people in similar ways.